Welcome to Holding Space. Michael Zen is a visual producer and creative photographer using his imaginative visionary energy to channel Zen and hold space for spiritual and innovative discussion. Each episode creates a supportive, accepting, and open environment that allows exploration and expertise to come together with engaging and entertaining convergence. With guest and community all helping the shape of the way, Michael is grateful to be together to hold space. Now here is your host of Holding Space, Michael Zen.
Hello, and oh, look at that. I'm just in the side of the screen. StreamYard's always doing stuff like that. Welcome to Holding Space. Good evening. It is January 13th. It is only the second week of January. Time is going nice and slow, like I like it to go at the beginning of the year. Just not feel like it's whizzing by. It's still January. It's only January 13th. Welcome to Holding Space. This is my place here on the Sacred Spiral Network. So welcome, my fellow Sacred Spiralers. Sacred Spiral Network is an amazing place with amazing shows and amazing hosts and amazing guests, an amazing audience members like Evelyn. What's up, Evelyn? And a shout out to Kelly Brickle as always, and the whole Sacred Spiral crew. And actually, one of the Sacred Spiral crew is going to be my guest tonight. So we're going to have some fun with some Sacred Spiral energy. So I'm excited. But thank you for showing up if you are here from the Holding Space Network. I mean, the Holding Space Network. What am I saying? The Sacred Spiral Network. Thank you if you're here. And if you're just kind of coming across it, welcome, fellow human. You're also welcome here. I love listening to Todd's the voiceover, the intro, and when he said this is like a supportive open space, I love that, because that really is what we try to create here at the Sacred Spiral Network, and especially here on my show, Holding Space. So welcome. I just want to start off, as I have been doing. I got to try to figure out something new for 2026, but this was kind of new towards the end of 2027, where I would open up the space itself kind of ritualistically by clearing the space with sage, not the kind you burn, but the kind I like to ring, and a little breathing together to kind of connect us all in this moment. So if you guys are ready to join me, I see some people showing up. Let me let you get comfortable on your little meditation chairs. Pull up a seat, Kim and Joni. Welcome, Pam. Good to see you guys coming in. Thank you. Coming into the room, coming into the space, coming into the energy. It's awesome. All right. So breathing is fundamental. You guys know how I feel about that. And it really helps me to connect with the moment, and I get a little physiological buzz as well. So let's just do it in through the nose for 3 or 4 seconds, a little brief hold, and a intentional release. Like sometimes when I go to different meditations and exercise, they actually go and they push it out. We don't need to do that, but I don't know. I've said end of 27 times. I've end of 27 twice. Oh, I'm just going. I'm just channeling, Evelyn. That's how this works. The intro goes, it turns off, and I just show up and I do my thing. But thank you for telling me what I'm saying, because sometimes I don't even know. Anyway, let's just breathe together. All right, guys. 3 in and out, and we'll be right on the runway. Ready? Here we go. In through the nose. And a little push it out. In through the nose. Push it out. Sage getting loud. One more time together. Nice deep one. Let it out. I love it. And actually, last week, I interrupted Sage. I just kind of put Sage down while she was still ringing. not going to do that to you this week, Sage. Can you hear that? I still hear it. I'm holding it right here. I feel it. I hear it. Oh, I love it. Sage. Amazing. All right. Breathing is fundamental. I don't know what's going on with my camera, but it's going in, it's going out, it's going up, it's going down. Spirit, lighting, auto effects, all of that stuff. Anyway, so holding space. If you haven't been to my show before, I am usually welcoming a guest who has some sort of incredible gift, which means anybody could be on my show. We all have incredible gifts. But I find some cool people who actually want to share some space with me and share their gifts and share their energy. And like I was talking about the Sacred Spiral Network, there's so many amazing folks on the Sacred Spiral Network. I could just do a show where I just rotate the hosts of the other shows and just interview them, and it would be amazing. But tonight I have one of the only other, well, not one of the only other, but one of the very few male hosts on the Sacred Spiral Network, and possibly the only other Michael, I believe. So welcome to Holding Space, Michael Christopher. What's happening, Michael?
How you doing?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
Doing good, doing good. Yeah, we have to get some more of the guys to come out and share their gifts. I know they're there. I know they're out there.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I definitely know that. I'm actually excited. I don't know if you know Brian, but Brian's a friend of mine who has come over to the Sacred Spiral Network. Brian is a tarot deck. Not only is a reader, but he created a couple of tarot decks. He is an incredible artist. We met actually through our love of photography. He's a photographer who does light painting. Are you familiar with light painting?
I think I've seen it. That isn't a fluorescent kind of.
Well, it's like a long exposure. So you're in a dark room. You
Yeah.
open up the camera. You can draw with light, like almost like Pablo Picasso did a light painting photograph way back in the day. But Brian has created some amazing artwork and like some really crazy stuff. And then he made a tarot deck out of it, and he is the true definition of like a wizard. He's studied Aleister Crowley and all of these what's his name, Walter P. Mann. He's just so learned, in the arts, the sacred arts. And anyway, but tonight is about you. I'm holding space for you. But we were just talking about the male energy at Sacred Spiral Network and how we need some more of it. So
yes, we do.
Got me off on a tangent.
No, but talking about tarot, I have tried to learn tarot for I've lost track. My attention span is so short that I'll start studying and then I'm off like looking at different things or thinking about whatever. So I've gotten to the point where it's like, nope, I'll just pick up the card, kind of feel into it. What's the message say in the moment? Which if you talk to some, it's like 50-50 people. There's people that study, and then there's people that just pick up a deck and they kind of just use it for their interpretation.
Mm-hmm.
So I've kind of just surrendered to the void. I'm just going to be one of those that just interpret what I feel from the card.
I think the thing for me, and what brought me to this kind of community, was my interest in all sorts of connections with energy, right? Like I have friends who are psychic mediums. I have friends who read tarot, and I see it all as kind of the same thing, right? You're just interpreting energy. You're kind of tapping into this extra layer of perception, you know what I mean? And I think it comes through in all sorts of ways. And it's interesting too, now that I'm thinking about it and talking to you and saying it, like, years ago, there was almost like more of a separation. There were psychic mediums, there were tarot readers, but now I think people are finding like the connection, and many psychic mediums do read tarot cards as well. And they have other ways that they communicate with energy and connect with energy and bring through messages. I think it's a great gift. And I think, I think that you're of this belief too, that we all have inside us the ability to connect with energy. I think it's just a matter of focusing on it, almost like if you're into going to the gym and exercising and exercising that muscle, that it's a muscle almost, similar to a muscle.
Oh,
skill.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's interesting, and it's an interesting journey. Um, like today, I know you asked me backstage if we had anything to talk about. And if you don't mind me indulging for a few minutes, I want to kind of talk to the mediums that are out here
Yeah.
because
I,
I
I
experienced something today, which, a lot of us fear. And that's what if we have a session and it doesn't go as planned?
mhm.
Um, and as long as I've been doing this, which is over a decade, and I've talked to other mediums, and like I mentioned to you, I'm actually in a development class right now for myself.
Mhm.
And some people might go, why do you need a development class? You've been doing this for, a while. Me personally, I never like to stay with the status quo. I always like to push myself. I like to find other ways and observe other people's techniques because you can always learn from somebody, and a lot of those aha moments of, wow, I never thought of it that way or I never saw it that way.
Absolutely.
And again, I like to be kicked. I like to be pushed, um, because it's a never ending journey, right? We're never going to be at that point where we're like, I finally understand mediumship. I know I never will. And today proved that. Um, so I'll get to my point. So I had my class today, from like 1 till 3:30, and then I had a private session at 6 o'clock.
Mhm.
And the class went great. I did some readings during the class and made the connections. I get to my private reading and it was like crickets. What is going on? It was so fragmented and it just felt like I was pushing through sludge. And for me, anytime I have a reading like that, and it doesn't matter what it is, where, when, where, within 10 minutes or so, if I find that I'm struggling to make the connection for whatever reason, and it's always my fault, it's always something to do with me.
Mhm. Mhm.
I stop the reading, and I either offer a refund or offer to reschedule.
Right.
So about that 10-minute point, I said, you know what? I said, this is what I'm going to do. But I said, if you're okay with it, I'd like to continue on because I want to try to make a connection. And she's like, yeah, absolutely. So we did. And again, I made a connection finally. It just took a long time, which is I'm not used to,
Right.
but I just kept pushing through. And, it didn't meet the standard that I'm used to. So I did
Right.
offer a
Right. Right.
refund, but I wanted to at least, attempt it. But my point being is like, it's going to happen. We have to give ourselves some grace. We're human. Sometimes that's just the way it goes. And I, of course, immediately after go to my guides, what WTF? What was that about?
Yeah. Yeah.
And of course, it's always like, what did you learn from that?
Mhm.
And it literally was like, is this going to make you stop? Is this going to make you question yourself? And I'm like, you know what? No,
Yeah.
no, it is not.
Right.
And it's just, I think at times we get challenged like this to see what we're made of and see it's like, okay, are you doing this for the right reasons?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm sure there's more lessons in it, but just to say it.
Well, I heard a lot. I heard a lot of different lessons in what you were saying. Like, and I also, I find that a challenge too, right? Like things are not always what you expect them to be. Signs, a
Mhm,
simple sign from the universe is not always what you expect it to be, right? And
right.
it's like that moment that you just allow yourself to kind of like relax and be like, oh, I'm not thinking about it, and then you're like, oh, now, bing, you're like in that state. And when you try sometimes too hard, I can imagine as a psychic medium, right, especially doing it professionally, that you show up, somebody's there, and nothing's coming through. Like, what do you do, right? And it sounds like you did the respectable thing, right? Like, hey, nothing's coming through. I'll offer you a refund. I still want to kind of see if I can tune into any of the energy, or whatever. And you still try. And I mean, I can respect that, but I can also see how kind of nerve-wracking that can probably be.
It can be, but you know, again, yeah, there's multiple lessons, but it's just interesting how don't ever be afraid to just step back, say, okay, I just need a moment to take a breath,
Yep.
reconnect, and okay, nothing again. Let me just feel again. And it's like at that moment, and I really feel into this, it's like I'm just about to go, no, I'm done for tonight. I get something.
Mhm.
And again, it's like starting over, and it's like start small.
Right.
Okay, I don't want to assume this is the person, because she told me I always ask, who do you want to hear from?
Right.
And I get this little clue, so I give it. Do you understand this? Yes. Do you understand? A little bit at a time, and it starts building up that energy again. And before you know it, then we get into a broader thing
Right.
where I started to actually feel this person's person and spirit, how they passed, and the messages that were coming through, and it started to eventually unfold.
Mm.
Again, it just took a lot longer than me. My standard is I
Yeah.
usually make the connection within less than a minute.
Right.
In less than a minute, I got the person identified. But again, you just have to keep going.
Yeah, yeah, interesting. And again, from our first conversation and I remember you were the one who kind of cleared up, like, it really finally understood, evidential mediumship, what evidential mediumship was, right? And
Mhm.
that is like, saying something that only that person's going to know, and there's the evidence that, okay, this is a connection, obviously, right? It's like undeniable thing. Lynn says this is so helpful. Yeah, I think this is
Oh, thank you, Lynn.
really, really great, humble advice, and being real, you know what I mean? I think a lot of times people who maybe haven't tapped into their own psychic abilities but go to psychics have these expectations, right? But a psychic is, we're all human. We're all
Mhm.
human beings, you know what I mean? And we all have energetic fluctuations, you know what I mean? Um,
Yeah.
so thank you
I
for
guess the point is, it's again, you're going to be tested. You're going to, what are you made of? Are you doing
right,
this for the right reason?
right,
Um, and it's never going to, you're never going to have a like perfect, like stream of readings. They're all going to be different. Some of them are going to be more challenging, and some are going to be, they'll flow just like effortlessly, and
mhm,
everything in between. And again, it's just like you're saying, expectations, throw them out the door, because you never know. And in a way, that's exciting because it's never boring. You never know what you're about to get yourself into.
right.
You really don't.
It's true. It's true.
A musician, you're a musician. You practice your music months before a performance. A medium goes on a stage and has absolutely zero idea what is about to unfold.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. But even as a musician, right? I can practice and be perfect, and I can even have a dress rehearsal the night before that sounds sweet, and then the next night, for some reason, there's a train wreck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because of the energy is off or something's happening. You know what I mean? And it happens. You know
And
what I
then that
mean?
little voice in your head says, am I really good enough to be doing
Right,
this?
like, what the heck
That little
what the heck
ego
is going
check.
on? Right, exactly. I just wanna point out, Jules says, "I think we sometimes need to remind ourselves, no matter our abilities, we're still in human bodies learning human lessons," and I love that she said that, because a lot of times I'm like, "Why do I keep asking these questions and having these conversations? Should I just relax and enjoy life and then save this for the afterlife?" Like, like all of these things that I know, but I do, this is enjoyable for me. It is enjoyable to have these conversations and to think about, um, you know, what might it be like in other realms, in other dimensions, as other types of existence, you know what I mean? It's
Mhm.
like, and then I think that psychic mediums and these kind of things, it gives us little touches of that, right? A little brush with it,
We
which
can
is
get close, but I don't, that's about it, because again, it goes with the psychic side. People want to know the future. And I'm like, how boring is that? If you know the answer to the question ahead of time, what's the point?
mhm,
So I look at this existence is, we're here to learn. We're not here to get the answers given to us.
mhm.
That's why I always say that the future is not predictable.
Yeah,
I know there's some people that may differ with opinion on that,
sure,
but it hasn't been written. There's so many variables. And I'm like, I don't want to know the future.
right.
Ask anybody that's going through a chronic illness if they want to know what's happening in the future. I sure as heck didn't.
Yeah, and I wouldn't either, but I'm sure there are people who do, right? I
Yeah.
mean, one of the things you were saying before, I just wanted to kind of point out,
Mhm.
um, is the live stream of consciousness. Really, the reason I started that show was because I felt like, this whole conversation started about, like helping each other, right?
Right.
And something that somebody else knows might be a way you never looked at it. Well, that's the whole point of the puzzle piece part of live stream of consciousness, is we each have one. That's what we come to. We are one. You know what I mean? Each of us come to this existence as a puzzle piece, and we've got to see where we fit into the big picture, and we all do fit into the big picture and we're all an important part of the big picture, right? What's going to happen if you look at a puzzle, there it is, finished, except there's one little piece missing? It ruins the whole thing. Everybody's important. Everybody's important.
I'm still trying to fit in. I'm my own, like, I don't know.
But you're so important to so many people, right? On the Sacred Spiral Network, you found at least you found the portion of the puzzle that you belong in, right? Maybe not the exact spot, but you found the portion of the puzzle. The you know.
Oh, definitely, a lot of great people here. But it is, you know, I've as of recently, actually, I've looked back over my life, and it's like, for most of my life, I've kind of been an odd duck, you know, independent of the cliques. And even though I wanted to be part of the cliques and a part of a group, I look back and go, thank goodness I really wasn't, you know, because I really enjoy solitude. It took me a while to admit that,
right?
But it's like, it's a kind of like peaceful.
and that's what makes you, right? And I think that's what's so cool. The theme this year for me, started last year in Costa Rica, is creating reality, because I really do believe that we all are in charge of our reality, and we can make it as grand or as humble as we want. You know what I mean? We can make it as happy and joyous or as miserable as we want.
Yes.
And you know, I can remember some lessons, you know, from being younger, and like not wanting to hang out with certain people because they were miserable.
Yeah.
Right. And that's how they like to be. And it was like a couple years later, I realized, like, maybe that's how they like to be. Right. And like, let them be that way. It's not going to be me that's going to change them. You know what I mean? Even though sometimes I felt like I wanted to say, you don't have to be that way. You don't have to be that way. But you have to let everybody kind of figure it out. And I think even that being said, this is weird, and I'm just kind of saying this, right, because I'm feeling this. I think there are meant to be miserable people, because it's a spectrum, it's a whole, right? Like, how would we know we're not miserable if there weren't miserable people?
Right. I think everybody's a reflection of us in a certain way. And if you really pay attention to that, and I caught myself doing that a couple weeks ago. I just had that thought. It's like, everybody's a reflection of us. And I had that in my mind, and I started looking around at people, and I was like, oh my God, it's 100% absolutely true.
Yeah.
You know, it's interesting, you know, because I have terrible road rage being a New Yorker. I'm still, you know, I left New York in 19 when I joined the military. Here I am 56, and I still can't let go of the New York part of me that's ready to flip that bird off in an instant. But I see other people with the road rage, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not that bad, and I don't want to ever be that bad. Just be calm. Just listen to your music, drive down the road, let people get in front of you. It doesn't matter. I'm in no hurry. So I'm working on that still.
and that's you'll always be working on that until the day you exit. And Jules is saying, I believe those miserable people are here to play the role, to teach us to reach higher. Yeah. And
Yeah.
I think that it's also for them to, and again, maybe I'm wrong, because in my eyes it's like, oh, they'll eventually find joy and find the way to be joyous, but maybe not. Maybe again, that's their path, is to live out the misery so that Source knows what misery is, right? Isn't that the whole philosophy, right? That Source created us all to experience itself.
And I think there was a turning point in everybody's life where you finally realize it's not worth it. And for me, I mean, I've talked about my kidney failure and the transplant and all that good stuff, but it was literally like that experience was after getting that second chance at life. Things that used to really get under my skin, I'm like, that's not even worth a second of my time anymore to even get involved with some of this junk, you know? So, you know, I hope people find peace and before having to go through any nonsense like that. But sometimes
It
that's what
usually
it
takes some
takes.
nonsense. Yeah, it usually does. It's so interesting. I'm thinking about a conversation, and I want to get into some readings. I know people are out there asking
Yeah,
for some readings, and I know you have some cards all ready to go.
I
Uh,
do.
but like I'm working on a project at work, this website development project, and we've engaged with these developers out in Colorado, and I'm talking to the guy, and he says something to me about like my attitude, not in a bad way. He's like, how do you stay so positive or something to that effect, and it just kind of forked us into this conversation, right? And he's about my age. He's from New York. He's in Colorado now. We have a similar upbringing, um and something about who I am
Hmm.
hit him, and he wanted to know more about it. And he opened up to me and told me some things about his life that made him the way he is, and that he's realizing these things about himself that he doesn't want to be. And it was such a we've become friends through this experience, and we talk about it because I told him the "Hey, how's it going" story, which I don't know if you've heard, but that moment of "Hey, how's it going?" and being intentional with that answer.
Hmm.
It's great because you usually hear people going, hanging in there or whatever. Like, people are usually they don't take that moment to create their own reality, right? They don't take that moment to be intentional with their energy. And it's such a simple moment. And I told him about it. And 2 days later, he's like, I got to talk to you. He's like, I've been trying this. I really want to talk to you. And again, we became friends now. And it's just so nice to feel like, just because who I am, I engaged with this total stranger across the
Hmm.
country, and now have this kind of dialogue going where we're reflecting off of each other, you know? And it's just so great. I love being, in this position of being aware of what my energy is, and what my role is in a given uh moment, you know what I mean? And that's what brings me to places like holding space, this intentional moment that I have here with you, somebody
Hmm.
who I don't really engage with often, but I know we have a lot in common as far as like our ideals and our visions of how it should be, and raising the vibration and all of that stuff. Um, so, I think we're blessed. Thank you for being here.
It's funny because when you were saying that about that question, how's it going? I don't know why, but my mind always goes to George Carlin. And I remember the answer. He goes, I like to play with people. He goes, I like to give them something to think about. So when somebody asks me, how's it going? I say, I'm not unwell, thank you. He goes, that just pisses them off because they have to think about that. I'm like, oh my God.
That is a funny story. That is a funny story. But again, I just find that, like, for me, it's like, if I have any sort of metaphysical gift, it's like being able to package those little micro moments, right, and be like, here, look at this for a second, right, and it's something easy to understand,
Mhm.
you know. So again, a little side thing, but we are here on the Sacred Spiral Network. It's about 9:30. We have about a half an hour, so I figure that's a good decent amount, a chunk of time, to offer people who are out there and kind of come to the Sacred Spiral
Yeah.
Network for readings, a reading. So if you're out there in the audience and I see Kay Weezy running up to the front.
Well, what I do, I'll just tell you, I just go to who I'm pulled.
Okay,
So I
okay,
kind of just, that's the way I work.
okay.
And just to let everybody know, I won't be doing mediumship today. I had a long day of mediumship. So today I have my angel cards. I love the angel card readings because I find that they're always inspirational and they always seem to resonate with us in some way.
I love it.
Um, so yeah, I kind of will stick to cards tonight for two reasons. One, like I said, it's been a long day with class and then a private session, so my mind's kind of like goony right now. But with the cards, I can get through more readings that
Okay,
way. So
okay.
it's
No
just
worry. You know what? I'm gonna put you in charge. I'm gonna move you over here, and I'm gonna make you big. And
oh,
you're in charge. So whoever you feel drawn to, I
well, you know
know.
what, Michael? I want to start with you and as an appreciation for putting up with me for an hour. So let me pull one for you to start things
Ooh,
off.
I
Um,
love
let's
it.
just see what. we have for you. Wow. What a message right there from the get-go, kind of what we've been talking about. So that's just your validation. Your thoughts are manifesting rapidly. Trust in divine guidance and stay focused on your goals. You know, it's easy to get derailed, especially when people want to inject their thoughts, opinions about what we're doing. Unfortunately, there's people that want to kind of keep us with them when they're kind of still trying to figure themselves out. Some people get threatened by us, moving forward towards our passion. So again, it's just a reminder that, you're in alignment. I mean, if there's anybody that's in alignment, it's you.
I love it. I gotta say that's a really good reading. I kind of feel it. I feel that way. That feels
Good
amazing.
deal. Glad it resonates.
It's a good feeling, yeah.
All right, so I'm going to go to Tammy Christine Radon.
All
And
right.
if I mispronounce names, please don't be offended. I still ask myself, how did I get through college? I did it while I was in the military. So that I still look back and go, how did that happen? I actually did my college degree out of spite. I'll just say that because people told me that I would never do it or couldn't do it. So I'm like, all right, typical New Yorker, screw you. I'm going to do this just to spite you. So there you go.
Well, related to what you're saying, how did I do college? So I just turned 59.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like, I look back and I see videos and pictures and I'm like, wow, what a great time that was. But like, what a different person, right? Like you become so many different people throughout your life.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I was, adult going. Thank God it was campuses on base. So there was a lot of people my age going. So that made it easier. But yeah, Tammy, Christine, Radon. I'm going to pull one for you. So Tammy, are you still here? I'm sure you are. So Tammy, let me just see
I'm looking for
what I have for you, Tammy. I mean, I'm not opposed to mediumship either. If somebody comes tapping on my shoulder, I definitely will acknowledge them. So usually when I say something like, I'm just going to stick to card spirit. Right, yeah. Okay.
You just told a story about how your expectations,
Yeah, right. All right, Tammy, I'll come back to you if I see it, but right now I'm going to go to Crystal.
Okay.
Crystal.
I don't
Hello, Crystal. So Crystal Scrimshaw, this is for you. So it's the Harmony card, angel number 121. And if you want to do some research, you could probably get more in depth of what that number means. But right now, the Harmony card. So it's asking you to just embrace the harmony in your life, seek balance between your physical, motion, and spiritual well-being. So I know Crystal. She's followed me and put up with my shenanigans for years. But Crystal, again, is just, in addition to what the card says, I just feel, again, it's like, stop listening to the outside noise, and really get clear on what you want to do and who you want to be. Because I feel with you in a lot of ways, you're fighting against tradition. You're fighting against the status quo. And we've talked before, but I just feel it's like you're separate from the crowd. I've always felt that about you, that you're the one that's blazing your own path and setting the example for people that you have an influence on. So again, don't listen to the noise. You do you. A lot of people are going to try to hold you back. This is going to be a common theme, I think, for tonight is again, pushing the naysayers to the side, and you do what's right for you. Mm-hmm. It may be the strangest thought or goal. As long as you believe it, it doesn't matter what other people think. Mm-hmm. And you're the only one that can hold yourself back. Agreed. So just empower yourself.
Can I add something in there?
Absolutely.
I just kind of felt this. I feel like, and this is in general, I feel like people should take a step back and sometimes see, like you said, she doesn't realize she can do it or whatever. Like, take a step back and look at what you've done. Look at where you are, right? And acknowledge that, right? And that's all I've got.
Can you say you're not psychic? I know that fits for Crystal, because that message is, I've that exact message that you just passed to her, I brought that up to her.
Yeah, that's what
So
that's what I felt. And again, I don't do readings really, but there are moments where I'm like, hey, I got to say something because it's a thought that comes in my head in response to what you said, and that's what it was.
absolutely. Aaron, I just saw you, Aaron, and this card came up for you. So it's the prosperity card, Aaron.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, embrace your potential and welcome prosperity. I don't know. I just feel I need to talk to you about. I just feel like your finances are finally like in the area you have been working towards. This feels familiar, Aaron, so I don't know why, but I just feel that's what I need to say. It's like I feel like you can finally like relax a little bit about finances. I don't know if that makes sense. If that resonates with you, just let me know. But I just feel, especially for this year, it's going to be prosperous for you. Not only financial, but just your physical, mental, emotional well-being as well. And I know I've read for you too in the past, but I feel it's like this year, it just feels like I finally have a moment to where I can just kind of be myself and enjoy things. And it's something I feel that you haven't had in a long time. So sending you good vibes, Aaron.
Awesome. Lynn says I'm a closet mystic. So as you said that, I did get something to say, which was I feel like 2026 is going to be an amazing year for people who are not living in fear.
Yes.
For people who are aligned with their heart, this year is it's gonna show us just so much. It's like it's gonna show everybody's true selves, and that's gonna just benefit you that you're living from your heart.
And it's about reflecting on ourselves too. And it's weird because I finally realized like last year that I have anxiety.
Oh, wow.
56, and I finally figured out.
Uh-huh.
It's kind of weird for me to admit it this late in life, but most of my life is driven by fear. Fear has been a motivator for me. It's always felt like there's somebody around the corner, especially when I was in the military. It was just, I didn't do that well in school, so I always had this like feeling of not being on the same level as people. So that's something I've had to also work on over the years. And it's interesting. Maybe there's a message in what I'm saying, but even though I did 20 years in the military, I graduated from college. I've had so many met so many milestones in my life, but I still at times look back and go, that's not enough.
Right.
It doesn't feel like enough.
Right.
And I know there's people out there that probably feel the same way, and it just takes somebody on the outside to go, are you crazy?
I think that's isn't that what I just said? I think that message was for you too, Mike. Like,
Yeah.
take a step back and look at who you are. You know what I mean? Look at where you are, and what you've done. And I think that message applies to everyone, myself included. You know what I mean?
Lots of good stuff going on here tonight.
Yeah. Really, really good.
Let's see. Charlene Shaz. Oh, this one popped right out. Wow, look at this. And we're just talking about this, reflection. So Charlene. And again, everybody in the comments, if these cards resonate with you, take that, because this is a message for you as well.
1,000,000%.
Yeah. So Charlene, look inward and evaluate actions, embrace introspection, self-reflection for your own development, and also reflecting on what you've accomplished over your life. See, it's a message for me as well. That I think it's just like you said, Michael. It's like these are resonating with other people as well.
Definitely.
You just don't appreciate what you are to other people, and it usually takes somebody from the outside to look at you and just give you a compliment, because you don't realize a lot of the times we don't. We're in our own little world. We think we're not enough. But we are. We touch people in ways that we have no idea.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
All right. K Wizzy. I'm going to pull a card for you, K
Love
Wizzy.
it. Oh, there you go, K Weezy. You got it.
Let's see.
Anyone can do anything. Triple A. You all accept, align, allow. Accept, align, allow. Yes, anyone can do anything. It's true.
Yeah. So K Wizzy, this is for you. Clarity.
Ooh, nobody.
So trust yourself in the universe to make the necessary changes to achieve your goals. Soon you'll gain clarity about your life's purpose. And I know you're into music. I know you've been read before, and I know that about you. But again, it's about getting clear on what you want to do and who you are and pursuing that. Again, nothing worth having comes easy. Nothing. So sometimes we just got to keep pushing and pushing and pushing. And there's a lot of times people give up right before that breakthrough, and that can be heartbreaking. So just keep pushing forward. Just keep pushing forward with what drives you, what just gives you inspiration. You got to find that. You got to find that thing in life that just gives you a purpose of being here. And sometimes it takes forever.
Totally.
Sometimes some people don't.
And that's the point. That's the journey. It's a journey. Like, enjoy the effing journey.
Yeah.
I just want to bring up Brian. This validation is awesome because he's saying, I noticed the angel card readings on his show wind up being for individual people, but they also wind up being collective reading for everybody. And he's validating that that's happening right now by watching it happen tonight. Yeah, it totally is.
Yes, 100%.
I love that.
Tiffany
And there's Nancy
Herrera. Hopefully I said that right. Hello, Nancy.
Yes.
So Tiffany,
Tiffany,
let's see what we got for you. So Tiffany, I got the transition card for you. So let me just read it and then I'll feel into it. So the angel number is 345. So you're in a period of transition and change. Embrace the new beginnings and trust the process of transition or transformation unfolding in your life. So I don't know. I just get this feeling, Tiffany, as I connect with you. I just get this feeling of the rug just got pulled out from underneath me. And sometimes that's what it takes to get us to change and actually pursue what we want in life. We get so comfortable. We get in that comfort zone. And even though it may be toxic, and it drives us absolutely just nuts, we stick with it because it's comfortable.
Yeah.
And sometimes it does. It may feel like life is unfair because I just got this huge upheaval. Everything gets shaken out. And when the dust settles, sometimes we get the most clarity. And we look back at that moment and say, thank goodness that happened.
Yeah. Yeah, and we're in a better place when the dust settles.
Yep.
It's like, oh, wait a second,
So Tiffany,
this happened for a reason.
Hopefully that makes sense, Tiffany. But I just feel that whatever happened or is happening, there's a bigger picture that you may not be seeing now, but it's a benefit.
No, absolutely, absolutely. Tiffany says, "Wow, totally."
All right.
You're knocking it out of the park tonight, Michael.
I'm trying.
Let's see, a lot of good energy here. Everybody here collectively. That's what makes this happen. You know what I mean? Especially when everybody brings that good intentions and love.
Exactly. Amy Jones cover. So I got the transformation card for you.
555.
Yep. So release old habits, embrace new opportunities for growth, and trust in the universe's plan for you. Let me just see if I can feel into that though. This is maybe go against what this card just said, but I feel it's like either you just enforced or are establishing boundaries with people in your family that may be toxic to you. You can let me know if that makes sense, but I just feel I need to like pat you on the back for standing up for yourself and what's right for you, even though people may not agree with it. I just feel like I need to pat you on the back and say, hey, you did good. As I lose my voice.
You know, a lot of that's similar to everything that we're saying, right? It's like you take a step back and look at yourself and remind yourself how good you did, and like you know, somebody, like you said, it sometimes takes someone else giving you a compliment, you know what I mean? And you know, I think it's great. And it's also interesting to me you decided to kind of say some things that really resonated with a lot of people here who are gifted psychically, right? And sometimes question themselves, and like, you know, are totally related to what you were saying because they've been in that spot. And I think a lot of people really needed to hear that. So we all came here for a reason.
Yes.
I love it. I love it.
Excuse me. Okay, Amy. So that makes sense. Good. So just take that as a compliment.
Awesome.
And prepare for the transformation. Angel, I seen you there. Angel Billings. She lives in the same town close to me. So I know
Awesome.
Angel.
There you go. I would love a card if you're feeling
Angel.
it, and you are feeling it. So let's go.
Yeah, Angel. So for you, it's the progression. So I do feel movement forward. What I feel I need, I'll read the card, but then I want to add to it. But it says you're experiencing forward movement and the sequential unfolding of events. Trust the natural flow of life and take steps towards your goal with confidence. But what I'd like to add to that is also prepare for like minor setbacks and don't let that stop you. I just feel like there may be these little bumps in the road. Maybe some clarity is needed at that point, but I just feel don't let that derail you if you have those minor setbacks. Sometimes, again, it's just we're being tested. Is this really what I want for myself? Am I willing to go the distance? What am I going to let stop me? You know, is it going to be the naysayers? You know, we all have those little bumps that we deal with, but if it's truly what you want and what you're meant to be, nothing can stop you. So just keep going.
Yes. Jewel says you suffer more from the story you repeat in your mind than from the event itself. Let it go and be free.
100%.
Yes.
See, we're all mediums and psychics here.
Yeah. Totally. And you know, I think also something to what Jules was saying is this is such a powerful, I don't want to say tool, but it's just it's a powerful part of you. And you create your reality. So use your intentions for good and be positive. You know, I mean, I watch so many different podcasts that are like metaphysical, but also scientific. And I mean, you know, it's been scientifically proven that just positive energy changes the outcome. You know what I mean? So it's just, you know, why choose anything else?
It is. I mean, you can try and experiment. Go out tomorrow and just say everybody's the nicest person you've ever met.
Yep.
And I guarantee that you're gonna probably every person you see will be friendly, hospitable, and the same is true if you look the other way.
Yep. Exactly. You get what you're looking for.
Yep. So it's about choices. Wake up in the morning, say I'm gonna have the best day ever.
Yep.
Or another shitty Monday. And guess what you're going to have? A shitty Monday.
Exactly.
Let's see. Let me go back. Amy Stone. Amy, are you still here?
Amy is still here, I believe. Yes, she just said manifestation as we were talking about.
All right. Well, this card just, oh, wow. Enthusiasm for Amy.
Oh, look at that. And we were just talking about positivity, right?
Yeah. And then, oh my God, talk about a validation. Here's what the card says. And I always like to add my 2 cents. But it says, approach life with an optimistic attitude, even in the face of challenges. Be excited about opportunities that lie ahead to embrace them with open arms. And there's a lot to be said about that. Again, you know, we talked about this a little bit ago, that some people want to know the future. I want it to be a surprise.
I'm with you.
I'd say 90% of the time, what actually happens far exceeds the expectation or that we had built up in our mind.
Right.
And if we surrender, some of the stuff that happens is just like, I couldn't even have dreamed that big. You know?
Totally amazing. Isn't it amazing? Right? It's all just about letting go and having faith and knowing that it's all going to be exactly what it's supposed to be.
Yep. And I don't want to pull one for Kim Princess.
Oh, Kim
Kim
Princess.
Princess. She came on the show with Jennifer.
How did that go? I didn't get to see that. How did
Oh
that
my
go?
God. There's your tarot expert right there.
Oh, amazing. Oh my, Kim.
Yes.
I love that. I love that. That was a great episode of Creating Reality right there, right? I mean, that was an amazing, she, you know the story. She reached out to me and said, "Hey, I got a story. I don't know if it's interesting." I said, "Hell yeah, it is. Let's do it." And boom, there it goes. A new chapter is begun.
Yeah, it's literally like I was watching the episode and I was like, I got to get her on a live. She needs to be doing this work out in public.
I love it.
And
amazing.
So
I'm telling you, 2026. I'm telling you.
Yep. Yeah, self-doubt. That's the biggest obstacle in a lot of people's way is self-doubt. I mean, I still battle that with my mediumship. There's that little ego that sneaks in occasionally and says, "Are you really a medium? Are you not just making this stuff up? You pulling this out of your ass. I know you are." And I know that's my ego.
Yeah, it's all happening up here, man.
Again, it's cutting yourself some slack, giving yourself some grace that I don't care how long you've been doing this work. I've talked to other mediums that have been doing this as long as I've been alive, and I'm not kidding. And they'll tell you the same thing. It's like it's never the same. Some days you feel like I am the biggest imposter in the world. And these are professional mediums that teach on the world stage. And I know I'm just little old me, but I have a platform and I love to talk to people about the honesty. I like being honest with people. I don't want anybody thinking like these people that are out in public doing this work are like flawless.
Right.
I can only speak for myself. I am not flawless. Yeah. I have all the insecurities, all the ups and downs, the good readings, the not so good readings. It's just a part of this work. And you really need to be real with yourself and accept that that's the way it is.
Yeah.
If you try to be perfect, you're going to just burn yourself out and just be like frustrated with yourself. Just do it.
I think you know what? I think that's a part of being human. I think that if you were to ask your favorite actor or your favorite musician, that question, I think they would tell you that there are moments I'm like, is this real? Am I good enough to be here where I'm at? You know what I mean? I think it's a human thing,
I mean,
and the answer is yes, you are.
Yeah. I've wanted to turn or run away from this work so many times throughout this last decade but something keeps pulling me back and I always come back. I'm like, it's like that hangover. I'm never drinking again. Okay. I feel better now. One more beer. And it's just like this mediumship. Like, I'm never doing this again. I'm such a fraud. And then a week later, I'm like, you feel that pull. It's like
we need to encourage ourselves every day. I think, for me, I can remember the moment that it became very clear to me, right? Like the whole idea of energy and where I put it of, wow, I am never going to be anybody else. So looking up to other people and being like, oh, I wish I was that person is useless. But then I also realized at that same moment, nobody was ever going to be me.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, bing, okay. There was the answer for me. I was like, I'm just going to try to be me. I'm not going to try to do anything else, and I'm going to love me for as good as I can be myself.
Yep. It's hard enough being myself. I'm not going to try to be somebody else.
Exactly. It's hard enough being me. I love that. That's true.
Let's see. Pam. I would love to pronounce your last name.
Padalano.
There you go. So Pam, let me see what we got here for you. And then at the end, right before we get ready I'll just pull a collective for everybody. So
okay, yeah, we got about 5 minutes left. Yeah, we got about 5 minutes left. Right, so well, we're not on any sort of clock. We got as long as we want, but I like to keep it at an hour. Let people go back to their moment. This moment is good enough.
So Pam, I got the adaptability card for you. I think this came out a little earlier. So you're flexible and capable of facing changes. Trust in your strength to navigate any challenges that arise. Let me just feel into this a little bit for you. I just feel like there's a financial change happening right now with you. And if you can validate or just tell me I'm out there in left field, I just feel it's like it might be a challenge, but I just feel it's like you're going to come through it absolutely fine. But again, it's just trust that it's only temporary. So I don't know if that makes sense to you, but that's what I feel when I connect with your energy.
I like that. So, Michael,
Yeah.
you said I'm going to pull a card for Kim, and then I
did I forget?
I took you off track by talking about how cool the show was in creating reality, and then she didn't get a card. She said I got lost in the shuffle.
Oh, yep, I sure did. My ADD. So Kim, this is for you.
Sorry, Kim.
Yes,
creating reality. Reality is not perfect.
No. So Pam, that does make sense to you. Okay, good. Just know it's temporary.
Awesome.
Oh, so look, this is actually the perfect card for Kim. Trust.
Yeah.
Trust in yourself and the universe. Have faith in the divine plan and trust everything that's unfolding for you as it should. So again, we already know that you're just kind of now stepping out with your metaphysical work.
Trust.
Build that trust, and the way you build that trust is to keep doing the readings. And again, have grace and gentleness with yourself. Just know that there's going to be the ups and downs. I've said this at least 3 times tonight. So again, just keep pushing forward.
Yes,
just keep pushing forward. Be true
yourself.
to yourself. You know, if you're not getting something for somebody, be honest. I'm sorry, I'm just not. You know, it's just about being honest and being real about it. I always say I would rather like stop a reading than try to force my way through it to give somebody a half-assed reading when I know I'm not being authentic with myself. It's just I can't do that.
And I guess that's actually good advice to anybody who is just coming out. Like, expect there'll be a moment like that. You know what I mean? Like, expect, you know, that you're going to need to navigate the frequencies, and it's not always going to, like, you know, appear the same way. I guess that's a good way to say it. Good advice for everyone.
I mean, you know, when my wife came up for the show name for Jennifer and I, Spiritually Imperfect, I'm like, holy, that just hits a nail for everybody. We are absolutely imperfect in every way, and that's a good thing.
Absolutely.
We are a blank canvas, and the story's always being rewritten. Every second is an opportunity to reinvent yourself.
And I think that if you're open, then you start to see that in other people. You start to see different reflections, and that's what this community is, a bunch of people who are open. And I think everybody here can see a little bit of themselves in everybody else. You know what I mean? And I think that's what connects us all and makes it so happy. The you guys in the chat room, I got to tell you, you guys are making my heart go like this. I see you guys all talking to each other and all giving love to each other, and it's just amazing, this community that we're a part of, Michael. And it's been so great to meet you and be a part of this and facilitate these moments. You know, it's really awesome. And Jules is saying, Michael, I've been teaching for 20 years and I still have those moments. I trust in myself, my abilities, and the process.
There you go. Absolutely, Jules. You know, thank you for revalidating that, because it's important. We just need to cut ourselves some slack sometimes, especially with this work. It's intangible. You know, our human mind cannot grasp something we can't put our hands on and see physically or you know, experience in a physical way. And that's half the battle with mediumship. It's like, this is irrational, but you just got to go with it.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm looking forward to the moment, because I know I'll have the moment where that happens to me, you know, that something from somewhere else comes through me and out into this realm, you know what I mean? And I mean, I feel like it does every day, right? In just energetic ways, right? We're all energy and exchanging energy, but I feel like there's something happening. Something big is going to happen. One day you're gonna hear me say something that I'm not even going to know what's coming out of me.
Yep.
Mike, you're so much fun to talk to, and I love what happened tonight. This was great, amazing energy. What a great, you were a little bit tired and drained, but man, look what happened. All those amazing synchronicities came through.
Yes,
I love
absolutely.
it.
No, this was fun. Thank you to Kelly for reaching out last night. And she was like, it's at 6 o'clock. And I'm thinking 6 Central. I'm like, oh, I got a private session at 6. I can't do it. And I'm like, wait a minute. Kelly has a way of always forgetting I'm in Central. I said, wait, Kelly, is that 8 p.m. Central? She's like, oh, yeah. I'm like, yeah, then I can do it.
Nice. Well, I appreciate you being here. I'm sure we'll have you here again, and we will catch you when you stumble.
Yes, thank you. I stumble a lot.
Nice. And Brian, thank you, Brian, for enjoying. I love Brian was here and being contributing his energy to this whole
Yes.
thing. And Evelyn is shouting, Kelly, Kelly, Kelly. Shout out to Kelly Brickle. Always a shout out to Kelly Brickle. She is definitely the heart of the Sacred Spiral Network. And again, let me go back to this size. Let me go to this side. I think it's this size.
There we go.
Get comfortable. There we go. Any words of advice, love, dad jokes? I love my dad jokes. I never seem to get any dad jokes.
Oh, put me on the spot. Let me see if I can pull something out of what really quick. Wow. I think it's just a repeat. It's just, again, give yourself a break. Don't take life so damn serious. None of us, the cliche, we are not getting out of this thing alive, at least not physically. Something I've caught myself doing a lot lately when I have these little moments, these down moments, is like, remember that this is the temporary existence. We're here to go through this nonsense to learn, right? In advance. And it's like, for me, it just gives me this like breath of like, I can actually just relax when I remember it's like, this is temporary.
Yeah.
Learn what we're supposed to. It's sometimes you got to embrace the suck and just like, what am I supposed to learn here? There's a reason why I'm going through this.
Sometimes you do. You got to embrace the suck. It's true. And I just want to also give a special shout out to everybody in the audience who is saying thank you, thank you, thank you. No, thank you, because if it wasn't for you, it would just be me and Michael here looking like two crazy guys thinking that we're talking to people. We're all in this together. That is my message. We're all in this together. That is my message. I will see you guys. I have on the live stream of consciousness. What is her name? I forget her name. She has a network very much like the Sacred Spiral Network, but it's got some more paranormal stuff going on. Gwen Johns, and it's like All Access TV or some. That's the name of the network. And she's into all sorts of stuff. So I have her coming up on the live stream of consciousness this week on Thursday and Tuesday. We'll see what Kelly draws, but it's always a good time here on Holding Space. So thank you guys for showing up, and thank you, Michael Christopher, for being here.
Thank you for putting up with me for this past hour.
It was a pleasure. It was a pleasure. We'll see you guys. Peace. Thank you.